really excited to see how they play here this afternoon.
So we're underway. It's Tyson Gamble with the kickoff. It goes down to Xavier Savage, Josh Papali'i. Last tackle for Newcastle. Brayley comes across to Gamble. Charged down here by Corey Horsburgh. Needs a bounce. Gets one. What's he got in the legs? He stands. Basketball pass. It goes to Hudson Young. What a play by Corey Horsburgh. Nobody at dummy half. Corey. What happened? Yeah, Starling bypasses him to go to Tarpany. Strange for Weeks, and then Sasangi. Ball there for Jet Stewart, who scored 4 tries in 4 games. He helps set one up here. Great hands by Young. Finally, this jazz from close range for the Newcastle Knights. Thompson, lovely offload. Gives it to Kai Pearce-Paul. Newcastle hit back. First chance they get inside the 20. Coming to the open side this time after the trick shot earlier on. Sasangi just goes straight through, a clean miss. And now from Cogger, Gagai out to Marju once again, puts a kick in, gets past Weeks, under pressure here, swing and a miss. Young says, I don't want anything to do with that.
Well, Cogger, I think, was right on his hammer.
Brodie County numbers down that short side. They, true to form, go to the left. Gagai, they've got them. That's why they keep testing them, because they know they can cause issues for Fogarty, Timmercourt and Savage. Brown gets heavier once again. And now Young over there. It goes to Weeks. Hosking, Timmercourt. It comes to Savage. They've gone the length of the field in the set of 6 to score just before the break. They will get one more in. Smithies. Here's the trick shot. Mariota. Fogarty gives it to Fletcher Hunt. He stayed alive on the play. He says, I'm kicking it in the air. Out towards you, Xavier. Here he comes. Savage beats Hunt there. They wrap him up, though. Back to Fogarty. Papali'i thought about a kick. Now Starling standing. Still going. Tom Starling came to a complete stop. And he phoned in a complete miss. Starling steps through. Raiders score. 3 tackles gone. Starling, Smithies, Fogarty, Timmercourt. He steps his way through.
Gee, they're starting to make a fair bit of yards through the middle here. Fogarty again.
Was it high in the air? Good luck with this one. The wind swirling it away from Gagai. It went forward off him.
Young's offside.
By Young, and he is offside. Looks like he's got a lull in the breeze at the moment. Makes no mistake, he is flushing them. Newcastle Knights have scored just 11 tries from kicks so far in 2025. It's a massive discrepancy between the two sides we see here today. Hosking for Young. He goes straight through. Long ball over the top. Stewart's there, looking for the corner again. He'll be cut down.
Great tackle.
A metre out. McCarthy got to him just in the nick of time. He'll play it there. Sasangi feeds it back. Fogarty stabs one towards the uprights. Martin is there. So was Horsburgh. Martin ends up with it. In game number 4. Last tackle, though. And now Paddy feeds it to Fogarty. Through the hands this time. Tipped on by Weeks. Timmercourt. What a touch by Kyo Weeks. The Bulldogs and the Seagulls. Perhaps the game of the round. We've saved the best for last. On the Sunday ticket, you'll see it here on Fox League. A kick for Savage, who in the one motion plants it down. Well, that'll do it. He's offside. It doesn't matter what happens beyond here. And Canberra just keep on winning. They've taken down the Knights 44 points to 18.
How pleased were you with that performance? What impressed you most?
Probably the way they kept going in the second half, keeping them just to 0. And you know, we made 3 errors in the first half and they scored off it. So it's something we've got to look at too. But you know, I think the boys thought they were they all come in and pretty disappointed at half time. But I gave them a rap in regards to the way they were playing. It's just a couple of errors that we made that give them the opportunity to score tries, and they can attack. They've got good attacking footy players. I thought defensively we did a better job in the second half with in some areas.
The second half tends to be something that you do always come out stronger and come away with the game. Can you pinpoint why that is?
Hindy asked me a question in the pre-game about, we faded in the first half last week. Well, it's there is, every team has patches of 6, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, some teams longer, where they might drop out of the game a bit. But momentum is a hard thing to catch in this game. Momentum is a hard thing to get back. And it's a fair question, but don't not recognise the ability of other teams. I mean, Parramatta beat the Broncos on Friday night. We had them last week, and so many of the noise out there is, well, you because of where you are and where they are, and you'll beat them and whatnot. And maybe we should, but we don't see it like that, and that's probably why we're winning games with the way the boys are preparing. We don't see any other team we don't see any other team any less. We treat every opposition as though it's a game of football that they can beat us.
I suppose it speaks volumes of the competition, really, doesn't it? Because you can't take any game lightly, no matter where they sit.
Well, look at the Titans yesterday.
Yeah.
If they had that attitude a bit more, they've got the players. If they had that attitude a bit more, they'd win more games for Des, instead of Des being the scapegoat. But players have got to take responsibility, and that's what my players are doing. Players at other clubs where poor old coaches copping it, they've got to look at themselves as well.
We talk about it every single week. We always talk down here with the Raiders, but Kyle Weeks and Timoko and so many of them. But Weeks just seems to just improve his game and feel more confident, and watching him is a real delight.
Louise, I said that last week, that where we'll be in a couple of years' time, we'll be a better football team next year, and we'll be a better team in 27, because these guys are going to get 2-3 years of playing together. That's why we were re-signing these boys, because we want them to have some longevity to play together. Our senior players, apart from Papa, our senior players are at an age where they'll play for 3, 4, 5 years together with these younger blokes coming through. And that's how you build combination and cohesion. And talking about Kyo, the thing with Kay is he's just such a humble, talented footy player, and that's right through our club. We want that humility. People talk to me about complacency. There is no complacency, because these blokes, they'll eat somebody if they see complacency in their preparation, and that's such a help for a coach.
You were calling for that last play down there.
Yeah, I know. I ruined the emotion a bit, because I was so shitty, because we practice being disciplined to get back, and it's an awareness thing. And we just chatted. Xavier and I just chatted, but the message was for everybody. You can't be a half a metre offside like that. It happened the other night in the game. It's your job to be onside. And I bet you, is it Reece Walsh was in? Mm-hmm. I bet you if Reece Walsh went back and looked at it now, he would think, I've only just got to show a little bit more discipline by looking at where the kicker is, instead of being naive. And Xavier's the same. And it's a wonderful message for my whole team.
Yeah, particularly at this business end, as we're going to get 6 more rounds of the regular season, and against crunch time, that can be the make and break on it.
Yeah, it's crunch time now. Like teams are playing for the 4, teams are playing for the 8, teams are playing for their season. This time of the season, it's exciting for the fans, because their teams are all playing for something, and it makes every game hard.
How is Kyle? He sort of came off at the end there. Was that just a rest, or?
Yeah. He's quite confused. He didn't know why, and I said, mate, I'm just giving you a break, Christ. And then after the game, I said to him, what's it like being dragged? So. No, I just, he does a lot of Ks, and even just not. Well, you've got to be careful with their loads of training too. And as a fullback, you do so much running, and if I can just give him this, we don't get that opportunity very often. We're always in the grind, so.
And Joe, looked like you had a bit of a chat to the guys at half time. What did you sort of say to them out there?
No, we just said, we always say just calm down, get in there, get our rest, and then let the coaches touch on what we need to work on. Obviously, we were disappointed. I thought we were playing good footy, and the scoreline probably didn't reflect that. A couple of errors, did a couple of tries, but I still thought we had much more to give.
The whole forward pack was sort of pretty massive today. Yourself, Papa, Corey, 2 second rollers as well, and guys on the bench.
Yeah, definitely. We talked about, we want to bring intent going into the back end of the season, and that's what the boys done. That was my main message before we went out, and the boys delivered.
What's the timeline on some of the injured players? We expect them back after the bye, after the Dragons, and then the bye, or?
Sav's probably, don't hold me to it, but Sav's probably, I was only just talking to David about it yesterday, he might be a week or two after the bye. Probably he might be around 25. He'll be available. Matty Nick. It'd be nice if we could get him. In our bye round, we've got a cuppa playing. It'd be nice to give him some minutes there. And so, yeah, they're going to come back at a really important part of the season.
Obviously, there was a little bit about Sebastian Chris and then Sydney Society replacing him today. Do you think after Society's performance, when Chris has got a little bit of work up there, and they're will have to kind of compete for that number 4 jersey?
It's lovely having depth. It's when you're categorising your roster. All I look at is my depth of talent. And that's where we're quite fortunate at the moment, having a guy like Simi Sasani. I was asked pre-game why I'd move Simi there, and I think Simi showed everybody why. We got great trust and faith in Sim. He's a very, very talented footy player. His biggest issue when he came to me was he just had to be. I just had to be very strong in regards to how I got him fit. Because he's fit now, he's healthy, and you can't play football to your maximal level if you're not fit.
Also, you said a little bit before that there was the 3 errors that they scored off in the first half. Was there kind of anything else that you can kind of take out of that first half and put into training this week?
Yeah, there's been a little bit. If they're don't underestimate that football team we played against. You look at Dane Gagai, he'd be the first bloke I'd re-sign who I was involved with the Knights. He was by far their most hungriest, best player out there tonight. He just never stopped trying, and that builds teams. You can build teams around a person like Dane Gagai.
Adam, locked up at 18 all at half-time, you really went out to the point to prove in that first half. Where did you feel it got away from you in the second?
I thought in the first half, not everything went to plan, but we showed a heap of resolve in the first half. Not much was phasing us. We stayed in the hunt, obviously picking up that try at the back end of the half. And I actually thought the first probably 5 to 10 minutes of the second half in terms of field position was the best that we'd done it for a while. I thought we started the half, and then that try, where there was obviously some conjecture around us stopping, which I tend to agree with. We stopped on last play there. It was a bit innocuous. There was a bit in that, but that deflated us a bit, and we've got to be able to overcome that. We have to own it. I think we had 4 tries on last play, and the thing about last play is they mask a lot of good things that you do in the set, but at the end of the day, there's 6 points at the end of that. So, to rack up 24 points on last plays, something we have to own and get better at for the back end of the year.
So that Tom Starling try was sort of a momentum shift. Did you think that you agree with the first part, but then perhaps the off the ground was the right call, the wrong call?
No, I agreed with the bunker on all of that. I reckon we stopped. Phoenix should have kept moving. So I thought the bunker explained it that way, and I agree with him. I'm not going won't make excuses for our guys. I think if we could be better there, I completely disagree with the bunkers overturning of the second one. Okay, and I don't want to make it about that. Like, it was one try, but to overturn, he clearly went to the outside shoulder of Jack Coggers. You know, so he played at the man. Well, if he's not there, he's inside him. It's not playing at the man. So I think Grant got it really right, and I agree with him. We stopped in the line, and we deserved to try against us, but he got that one wrong.
So moving forward for the back end of the season, what do you take from today in terms of that? I mean, yes, you will work on that last play with the tries, but whereas the positives in that is really that you did sort of match it in that you felt like you probably played that best footy that you had?
I thought we moved the ball around well. We've got some young players out there, okay? So with the ball, I thought we turned up with the right mentality. We've done a lot of good things that sides have struggled against the Raiders. They offload a lot. I'm not sure how many they got today, but you're never going to get rid of all of them. But I thought with a lot of stuff that we prepared to do, we turned up and executed. I thought some young and inexperienced guys had a couple of moments, like a missed tackle, that they're going to get better at. Like over time, they're going to get better at it, and that's welcome to the NRL. You can't, you miss one tackle, it usually leads to a try. So, yeah, there's some harsh lessons there for some young guys, and they'll get better for it.
Dane at fullback, he's impressed really since he's shifted there. What do you admire about what he's been able to do at the moment?
What he gives us every single week, regardless of position, gives us everything we got. Like for that 80 minutes, regardless of the week that he's had or anything that's going on, he's just a true fighter for us, and he's keeping the spirit alive within our organisation and really helping these younger guys on what it means to play in the jersey and play for the town that you fight to the end. And our season's not over. We get to play a part in how finals are played out for other teams, and if anything, we need to set up our summer on a positive. So there's plenty of stuff to play for, and he drives that.
Tyson into the halves and then Jackson coming off the bench, is that something you're going to try and stick with? Do you feel like it worked today?
Yeah, look, we've got the bye, so we get to get some training in next week and have a look at it. But I think both of those guys, I think Tyson Gamble played a big part in the expansive nature of our game in the first half. So yeah, I'll have a look at it. There's other stuff that I'm concerned about at the moment, in particular those last plays and getting better at that.
Dane, what did you make of your right in the game for your minutes there?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I thought the first half, especially when they got that late try, even with or without Fletcher Hunt's try, I thought we were still right in it. We were turning up for each other and working hard for each other, and we spoke about it at half time, and starting off the second half was important for us, getting off to a good start, and I thought we did that. But then once we had that first error, letting a try, a fifth tackle penalty, my drop ball at the back, it kind of just snowballed, and we weren't able to kind of stop that momentum. And with a team like that, they're sitting at the top of the table for a reason, and they've got a lot of players in that team that can, I guess, jump on those sort of opportunities. So it's just about whether, like I said last week, whether refs get calls right or wrong. Everyone's going to make mistakes. We make mistakes, but it's up to us to, I guess, win footy games and take that out of it. Like, as you said, the fifth play, we got to take a good hard look at that and I guess be able to turn teams away, but at the same time we got to make teams earn the right to attack our try line or have those opportunities for those fifth plays, because we're giving a lot of teams leg ups, inviting them into our half, and you just can't do that at this level. So you got to make teams earn the right, and we've got a week off now. We'll rest up and we'll look to keep going. We've still got another couple of weeks of footy left, and I plan on finishing the season strong.
Adam talked a little bit about how there was a couple of young players that went out there and learned a couple of lessons today. As one of the more senior players on the side, and obviously missing a couple of players like Caitlin, for example, how important do you kind of think these last couple of weeks are just for you, just to kind of grow into that leadership a little bit more?
Yeah, I think those young fellas handled it themselves well. It's not an easy game, and like you said, they're still young and they did a lot of good things out there too. I know Kyle will be, I guess, filthy on himself for a couple of those tries, but at the end of the day, I'm not exactly sure on his age, but he's got a big future and he does a lot of good things for this team. So it's just about, I guess, keeping them positive, and it's easy to go into your shell when things like that happen, but the good players, I guess, learn to overcome that and get over that, and they'll develop that in time, and it's just about trying to reinforce all the good stuff that they've been doing for this club.
Dane, with the form that you're in at the moment and the positives that you do take out of it, how confident are you staying with the club and wanting to stay on for 2026?
Yeah, obviously there's a bit of stuff come out, but like I've always said, I'm here representing Newcastle Knights and not just the club, but the people that live in Newcastle. That's what I've said from the start. That's the one thing that I love so much about this club is the fans. They endure a lot of hardship, but they always keep turning up, and I guess it's up to us as footy players to repay that favour. Obviously, we haven't had a great run this year, but I'll be damned if I'm going to stop fighting for this club, and whatever happens off the back of that happens, but I'm here to play footy and try to win games, so I'll keep trying.
And essentially out of finals contention, do you look to get some real footy, some of those young guys in the season now?
I think I alluded to earlier in the week, you still got to earn the jersey. I think at the moment that we give them away just because, if I hand this jersey over to someone just because we're out of finals, I don't think that's the right thing to do. You've got to be making sure that you're playing to a standard that you've earned the right to do it and upholding some of the standards within the jumper, otherwise you just cheapen it. So, yeah, it's a fine line. Having said that, there's some young guys that we've been playing for while finals were still in contention, and if they're doing the job, I'll pick them. I think it comes down to that more so than who's here, who's not here, how old. I think anyway, until someone might tell me otherwise in the club, but I think that, I think the jersey is really important, that you're playing to a certain standard, not just whether you're here next year or whether you're young or old.
Must be pretty proud of you for the last few weeks. I thought you could have got beaten before they got off the bus today, given that last week sort of went by.
Yeah, I can tell by the way they're going about their training, and it's going to sound crazy to some, like we had 44 points put on us, so that we're not going to agree with him, but I'm with them every day, and I can tell they're proud. They're not going to lay down. They haven't done it all year, and they won't do it for the rest of the year. None of us will. So I'm proud of that. They're still fighting us.